Hey everybody, welcome to Ticket Stubs and Popcorn.
What is this? Hi! Hi! What am I doing?
I don't know what you're doing.
Hi everybody. I'm Frank. That's Peter.
I'm Peter.
This
I'm
apparently is my
normal
hand.
one. I don't know.
You know what's crazy is like my hand's been really bugging me lately. I get this mad arthritis and I don't know what it does. I don't know. Anyway, hi everybody. So what are we doing? Who are we talking about today? Tell the people.
I'm confused.
Tell
Okay.
the people what we're doing.
Today we are doing a director.
Yes.
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith.
Very good.
Schmitty. He's not a Smitty. No.
I
wouldn't.
no.
Kevin Smith is great. I like Kevin Smith quite a bit.
Yes, so do I.
I am. So afterwards, I want to talk about who's like your favorite movie sleazebag. Just it doesn't even need to be a main character. Just someone who's just a sleazebag. So think about that.
Boy,
I'm going to start talking about Kevin Smith as a director. And I am going to start with Dogma.
Yep.
Dogma, which is such I call that like Kevin Smith's like first grown-up movie.
Okay.
Because he takes, if you look at that movie, he really does. He's a very Catholic dude. You know, he's talked about this before. He's Catholic and he's pretty Catholic. So he takes a lot of that stuff. He takes his faith and he just sort of plays with it. And I think that's really brave and smart. And I love that he writes his own stuff and he directs stuff that he writes. So I really like that. And he got a lot of crap for that movie from the Catholic just before it even came out. Nobody had seen it. And he was getting, people protesting the movie and stuff like that. And it's actually kind of in a weird way, like a celebration of faith in a way, in a very winking kind of like, hey, buddy, Jesus kind of way.
Yeah.
So, but I really like it because it does, it's what I think is as his first movie that really is kind of, like I said, it's kind of grown up and it talks about kind of more grown up in a Kevin Smith movie sense. So, and and you can look at it and talk about that movie seriously. I mean, like the Matt Damon and Ben Affleck characters, they talk about faith. Like there's that scene where Matt Damon is talking about having just, talked a nun out of her faith. And Ben Affleck's just like, why would you've spoken to God. You know that there is a God. Like, you've spoken to God, and here you are, like, making this nun challenge it. Take that money you're collecting, go buy yourself a nice dress, have fun, because really, that's all there is. And I think it's great, because it does pose a question to the viewer about faith, and I think that once you shake off all the silliness and stuff like that, I think that it's a movie that does talk about some serious themes, some serious.
I think that's a common thread in all of his movies. There is some serious notes and messages within there. Once
and I think that they dig a little
sift
through, but there's a lot. I think that stuff before that, there was a lot of sifting you had to do. Mallrats has got a little bit of that in it. And I think that because his movies are so, some would say crass, the language is a little bit too much, that the messages and the things he's trying to say get lost, which is unfortunate. Yeah. So visually,
I agree with that one, but I can see some people.
I think that they do because they'll just talk about Jay and Silent Bob and their druggies and all that kind of stuff, and I think that sometimes his more serious message can get lost. So my next one would be Clerks 2. Which again is a development. If you look at Clerks 1 and Clerks 2, it's just like these. I think the growing of these characters was done in a very natural way.
Yes.
And I think that it highlights those characters' positions in their lives, where they are. It's not just this arrested development kind of thing so much. These are guys who, working in retail, and they've got some, there's marriage and future and friendship, and all of that stuff rolls into that movie, and we learned about what a donkey show is. So that's another one of my favorites of his. I think he does a really good job at that. And I really love probably one of my erotica.
Yeah.
So probably one of my favorite scenes in that movie is when Randall they go to like the go-kart park.
Yeah.
And they need to play.
Yeah.
And sort of just clear their minds and just play. And I thought that was such a beautiful kind of like friendship sort of thing. And I really love that.
Yeah.
And my third one would be Tusk.
Okay.
Because I would call that in the Kevin Smith is just making weird ass movies that he wants to see. That is a weird ass movie. Go see this movie. It is so weird. A guy turns a guy into a walrus. It is so weird. It's just so weird. And it's not what you would consider to be a Kevin Smith movie.
Yeah, what you would
because
call
a Kevin Smith movie is just one of those where it's just got super snappy dialogue, some fun music stuff, pop culture references just splattered all over the place. Mm-hmm. But Tusk is just weird, man. And it's fun, and if it's just have you seen it?
No,
dude.
I am going to see it.
Oh my God.
No, I'm going to see it now.
So weird, but awesome. And it's just like Kevin Smith going, I'm going to make whatever I want to make. I don't care.
That's what I've always loved about Kevin Smith. But what I love of there's other writer directors. Same thing. I love the fact that they will make movies that they want to see or that they like. It's just, is it commercially successful? It might not be, but they have an opportunity at this point in their careers. They do whatever. They're just making what they want to do.
And it's so funny. It's like you see his evolution too. Like Clerks is shot. Is in a Wes Anderson style, but that wasn't without Wes Anderson because it was just like just black and white and just boom, you've got a shot. Boom, you've got a shot. There's very little action going on, and you've got the hockey thing going on the roof and stuff like that. But it's just a couple of guys
it's like
just
set up.
Boom, those shots are just set. So, and then as he gets better, he's got more movement in his shots. So I think that's really interesting. So go ahead.
No, not at all. I love hearing about Kevin Smith.
He's great.
Yeah. And like I said, he's one of those directors that, not all the time, but most of the time, if you saw somebody and nobody told you who did it, you'd figure out pretty soon, oh, I think this is a Kevin Smith movie. Yeah. It's got that feel. It's got the dialogue. It's got something about it. And you go, oh, yeah. It's like, I have a feeling this is a Kevin Smith movie. I am going to start with the original, with Clerks, even though, like you say, it seems, when you see other movies, you're like, okay, well, this is definitely a first attempt. This is an early attempt, black and white.
Great student film.
It is, I think, a wonderfully economic film. Yeah. He literally had to save. He had to do stuff to be able to save money.
Credit cards and
so
film
it's like
where
working at night, getting permission to do, and it is
like he worked in that convenience.
He worked in that convenience store, and sometimes it was convenient, no pun intended, to have the grates down so he could work at night and the whole so. I just love that movie. We're introduced to a series of characters, and you do want more, and it's wonderful that dialogue really, because it's this first movie, and you're like paying attention to stuff, and you're like, I like the way this guy writes, the way they talk,
Because the way they talk is the way people talk.
Exactly. And when you did allude to it earlier with, is there some crass language or this or that? But you know what? We all have a friend or two that are just that way anyway. It's just the way they speak to friends. I'm that friend, aren't I? Yeah, but it still seems genuine though, because we all know people, and they're it's just the way it is. So I love Clerks, and I'm gonna jump now. Which the other thing my second pick is Clerks 2, and I love it for many reasons. One is that it's just very funny, very mature. We're seeing this arc, like you say, not everybody, but the progression people may have been taking in their lives. And then they're introducing us to newer characters as well. What I really love about it is when you can stand back and see the Clerks and Clerks 2. What I love is there really is a lot of time between the first movie and the second movie.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot. So you really do see the way people can change physically as well.
Yeah.
And it's
nuts. Real in that sense.
Yeah. And so I think that is a very funny movie. I remember when the second one came out and I kept thinking, it's Clerks 2. They're definitely tying themselves to the first movie. Is it going to be good? It's been a long time. Is it going to work? And
it totally
I liked it better than the original.
Yeah.
Which actually I could have used that one as my answer for a sequel.
There you go.
But it's wonderful progression. It's great characters, but the dialogue even gets a little more sophisticated. There's more stuff going on.
I think that Clerks is a little bit more sort of episodic in a way. It's like quick little
he has to make the scene.
Well, here's the guy looking at eggs, and here's the expiration. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing where they're on the roof, and then here's the thing with the girlfriend. Here's the.
I think part of that though also is not just his age or inexperience, whatever we want to say, but that one I think is part of the economy also. I have to. Yeah. I do need to save
there's
money.
less of a story. Time. I mean, there's one story. There's this clerk in the day in the life of kind of thing. Yeah. But there's more story and stories going on in Clerks too.
Definitely.
So
and it's still tied together.
Right.
So I love that's what I love Clerks 2, and my third one, which might be my favorite, maybe hard to say, is that Chasing Amy.
Great one.
And it's there's stuff going on.
Yeah.
And there's some goofy background stuff, maybe like at a comic book convention, or the whole bit about
what's a newbie?
Yeah, what's a newbie? That is the whole thing about just the relationship, that they have, between the characters of Jason Lee and Ben Affleck. I mean, and then you bring in the other side of a triangle. And I think it's smartly done. It's still fun. It's poignant, and it never gets boring. It's one of those movies you can watch over again, and even though it's not like there's big special effects or anything going on like that one, it's still basically dialogue, character driven. It's the story's good. And it just brings out stuff that maybe we don't think about in the everyday world. You know what I mean? And I think because I think Kevin Smith often uses the same actors, not always, but he uses a lot of the same ones, that I think his players trust him, and he trusts them.
Yeah.
And that helps a lot.
Like you could see Ben Affleck walking in going, what is the play and what is my part?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. And I think
that's really funny because that's what Ben Affleck does in
That's
Shakespeare
exactly
in
what he
Love.
does.
So all you movie lovers out there should have known that.
It's great when you see it on film in a few different movies where you go, oh no, the director has really gotten to the point where everybody knows. Okay, it's the Kevin Smith movie. We've worked together. We'll just listen to what he's going to do. It's going to be good, and we'll just have fun. Yeah. And so those are my 3 picks. Yeah. It's always he's always fun.
He is always he is always fun.
Yeah.
I believe there's a Clerks 3 in the works now.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was there an animated series? Which
There
I
was an
never got
animated
in.
series.
I
Funny
never
story about
watched
that.
it.
So about 1 million years ago, I wrote a script that I
Well, that right there's
to,
funny sounding.
I know,
already.
right? No. And I brought it to I brought it to LA. There was this thing called the script, like a pitch fest thing.
Yeah.
Where you would get in front of like industry people and you had 5 minutes to explain your movie and if they're interested, whatever. So also during this trip, I managed to wheedle my way into a meeting with someone at like Sony Pictures.
You are a wheedler.
I am a wheedler to actually sit down and talk about my movie. So I got to go on the Sony lot and all that kind of stuff. Really, really fun. But while I was in the hotel where the pitch thing was happening, I was in the bar and Jason Mewes. I've told you this story 1,000 times. So Jason Mewes is in this bar, and there are some other people from the Pitch Fest who were there, just kind of like blah 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 blah, gabbing, right? And you could tell it was one of those things where he's just like he loves having fans, but they were just like too fangirling over the whole thing.
You got it.
So
geek overload.
But it was weird because we just from a kind of down the bar, we just sort of caught each other's eye, and he just kind of rolled his eyes, just kind of giggled or something like that. So they went away, and so he comes over and he's just like, so what's going on? And I said, oh, it's like this pitch fest where a bunch of us wannabes are, trying to sell our script and stuff like that. He goes, oh, how's it going? I'm like, oh, I've got a meeting tomorrow, which is kind of cool. And we just got to talk, and he's like, oh, where you from? I'm like, oh, I'm from Boston. He goes, oh, my buddy Ben is from Boston. We just kind of got to talking. So then I ended up, he's just like, hey, well, after your meeting tomorrow, why don't you come back and we'll, hang out. I'm like, wow, that would be amazing. It was great. Yeah. So, and while he was there, the connection to the animated series is that Kevin Smith was in the hotel, and he was writing stuff for the animated series, and that's that was all in development then. So so I hung out with Jason Mewes and Brian O'Halloran, who plays Dante.
Dante.
So,
I was going to say the Italian name after an artist.
So he was just the nicest guy, and he's just like, he just wanted to be back in Jersey at his comic book store and just sort of hanging out. But really, really nice guy. That was my brush with fame. In that same hotel, that same day, I did see Pam Grier waiting for an elevator, and that was my Pam Grier's. But so, quite an LA experience there. So, which did me absolutely no good. They did not buy my movie. So,
wow. Did you get a drink at least from Jason Mewes?
No, I had my own drink. He was, sober at the time, going through that whole thing. So he was not drinking. So,
all right. Did you at least say hi to Pam Grier for me?
I did say hi to Pam Grier.
Good.
I said, loved you and Jackie Brown, and she's like, thanks. And
drink coffee.
That was that. So, but yeah, that was my that's my connection. That was my brush with fame. But really, really nice guy. It was a good time. So,
alrighty.
Anyway, so we were talking about.
I've actually forgotten.
It was, I believe it was Sleazebags.
Yes, movie
Sleazebag.
Okay, now the way you posed the question, now that I'm remembering back, there are some sleazebags in movies where you say, oh, I kind of like the character, but there are some sleazebags that irritate me, but it's because they are acting the role so well that they're irritating.
Yeah, all right. So what do you got?
I would say close to the top, if not the top, would be William H. Macy in Fargo. He just drives me crazy.
Yeah.
But like I said, I love that movie. He drives me crazy because he does everything that a husband and a father should never do. You know what I mean? He just does this stuff, and you're just like, oh. And so it just drives me crazy. Seriously, even now, I'm just sitting here thinking, oh man, I want to, like, you don't act that way. You don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For God's sake. Anyway, so he'd be up there. And then there's like other kinds of sleaze bags, I guess. You could kind of go like a legal route, and like Tilda Swinton and Michael Clayton, where she's just along that legal thingy, and you know that she's not doing the right. You know what I mean? This like that sort of legal kind of sleaze. And then there's like, I don't know, other sleazes that's starting to come to me. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I can't think of his Damone.
Damone?
Maybe where he's a little.
You know what though?
No. But what I mean is on the sleazebag side of it. He's not a sleazebag like the other people, but he does stand up. His girl when he's supposed to give her a ride for a big thing where they've kind of agreed that they're going to do this together.
He was.
And also, just kind of
going after his buddies.
Or going after the girl, right, who's the girlfriend of his friend. And then also just even, the way I get it. He needs the money, but he's also kind of schmoozing to sell tickets for shows he doesn't really care. Or stuff like that. So we see a little bit of that sleazeballness of
He's one
him.
of my favorite characters.
And I don't know. I'm trying to think. We can maybe it. Oh, the movie was Autofocus, maybe. Yeah, Autofocus. It's like the Bob Crane story with Greg Kinnear.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe is a little. There's some times where he's a little sleazy in this movie, and then there's I grew up with this person as a wonderful father figure. Fred McMurray. So when you see it, there's a couple of performances Fred McMurray does brilliantly, where when it gets to, you know what I mean, and you're like, oh my God, Fred McMurray, my God, my three sons. It's like, how can he do this? He's going, you know what I mean? This stuff like that.
Mine,
but those are just some, I guess, that are creeping in my head.
The one that I would is also from Fargo would be the Steve Buscemi character.
Oh yeah,
in Fargo, because he's just a piece of shit.
Oh well, yeah.
And he's just.
But he's a bad guy. He's supposed to be.
Well, that's the thing. But he's just a sleazy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's who comes to mind. Also, poor Steve Buscemi, because also him.
Do we have another role?
I mean, it's weird because he in Reservoir Dogs, he's kind of a sleazebag. He's a bad criminal, but on the flip side of that, you can almost respect it because he's the only one being a professional.
You got it.
Yeah. There's Harvey Keitel in Bad Lieutenant.
Yeah.
He's kind of a sleazebag.
Yeah.
I actually have a soft spot for Damone in.
That's okay, but I just kind of listed why I feel this, but it's on a high school level, so it's not
that's the thing. Yeah, I'd like to see what's Damone doing now, 40 years later. So anyway, all right, so that's those are my sleazebags.
Yeah. So, a good
which I think
actor.
is different than like who's your favorite bad guy? Because
definitely.
There are just some people who are just
different.
like, oh, you just make me feel gross.
It takes a good actor to pull off a sleazebag.
Yeah.
Because you can go a little too much.
Rizzo, I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just like.
Yeah. So I would get.
All right. So pick an actor. You get to pick.
Oh, we get to pick.
Woohoo!
Right. All right. Very good. Not a sleazeball.
Oh, come on. Yeah. What about the thing with the guy and the stuff?
Sleazeball.
Right?
Total.
Yeah.
No.
See?
Scumbag.
Right?
No.
Owes me $11. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for checking out the merch and all that stuff. And have a great day.
Take care. Bye.